Brace for a weather whiplash? Weather Update US and Canada number 120. Get ready for some serious weather whiplash, because the US is about to be split right down the middle. To the west of the Rockies, a massive heat wave is building, getting ready to bake the region with abnormally warm air. But to the east? That's a completely different and much colder story. We're talking about two dangerous Arctic blasts roaring down from Canada. The first one, arriving midweek, is just the opening act. It'll bring a surprise snow threat, but it's the second one you really need to watch out for. That second Arctic blast hitting Friday and Saturday? It's the main event. We're talking about a surge of genuinely bone-chilling cold that's going to grip the entire eastern third of the country. And it's not just the cold. It's bringing a widespread snow event that will impact tens of millions of people. So let's break down this wild weather pattern. We're going to look at the huge temperature divide across the nation and pinpoint exactly who needs to get their snow shovels ready over the next 7 days. It all starts with the temperature map, which currently shows a large Arctic air mass parked over the east coast, while much warmer air rides into the Great Plains and west. But things are about to get shaken up. As we head into Wednesday, another cold front will sweep across areas from Texas all the way to the northeast. This one is packing a little punch of Arctic air, but the real intensity of it will be felt in the northeast. Further south and west, the drop in temperature won't be nearly as dramatic. While the east is getting chilled, warm temperatures will just keep on building along the west coast, thanks to a large ridge of high pressure setting up shop. By Thursday and Friday, that Arctic air will fully invade the southeast and the east coast, causing temperatures to plummet by 10 to 30 degrees in some spots. Then, get ready for the weekend. A big low-pressure system developing north of the Great Lakes is going to be the engine for our next shot of significant snow and some truly dangerous cold. This weekend system is no joke. For the Great Lakes and the Northeast, it's going to deliver a 1-2 punch of heavy snow and life-threatening cold. We could see temperatures fall by as much as 50 degrees in just 24 hours. This extreme cold isn't just a brief visit, either. It's planning to stick around. As we head into the middle of next week, that frigid air will still be lingering over the mid-Atlantic and the Northeast, refusing to budge while other parts of the country see a major warm-up. As the East stays locked in the freezer, a huge area of warm weather will develop across the Great Plains, the Midwest, and back toward the West Coast. This will definitely help melt some of the snowpack in the Midwest early next week. Looking further out into mid-February, things get a bit fuzzy. Forecast models are hinting at an extended period of warm air, but for you winter lovers, don't despair. This pattern could be setting the stage for something big down the road, so don't write winter off yet. That potential warm-up in mid-February could actually be the calm before the storm. It might allow the atmosphere to reload, setting the stage for the polar vortex to unleash another blast of very cold air later in the month. This could lead to the possibility of some major winter storms. So, to be clear, winter is far from over. But for the second week of February, at least it looks like most of the country will be enjoying temperatures that are well above average before the pattern potentially flips again. Let's look at how far from normal these temperatures will be. By early Thursday morning, you can see just how intense this cold is. Many places in the Ohio Valley and Northeast will be a staggering 20, 30, or even 40 degrees below their average for this time of year. Down along the Gulf Coast and in Texas, that cold front will have an impact, but it will be much weaker. Temperatures there will only dip about 10 degrees below average, which is chilly but manageable compared to what's coming for the Northeast. That bitter cold will hang around the East Coast through Friday and Saturday. The Northeast might get a very brief warm-up on Friday, but don't get used to it. Another, even more significant shot of Arctic air is set to slam the region on Saturday and Sunday, and it will stick around into the start of next week. By Monday morning, we could see temperatures an incredible 50 degrees below average in parts of Pennsylvania. If this happens, we would shatter all sorts of records for daily high and low temperatures. Then, as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, the pattern flips again. A full-blown heat wave will start to build across the central and southern plains. This clash of air masses with extreme cold in one region and building heat in another is the perfect recipe for big storm systems. So, even though it's going to be warmer during the second week of February, that absolutely does not mean the weather will be quiet. We are definitely going to see some major storms develop out of this pattern. The temperatures over the next 10 days are going to be a true roller coaster. Just think about this morning, it was in the mid-30s down in Florida, but it was actually warmer in parts of Alaska. That's just wild stuff. Meanwhile, the southern plains are enjoying a very mild morning. By Wednesday, temperatures will start to fall again in those southern states as a weak cold front pushes through. But for the Northeast and Ohio Valley, you're just going to stay locked below freezing with dangerous cold. This extreme cold is already having a huge impact across Ohio and Pennsylvania. In fact, there are upwards of 1,500 school closures today across the United States. A lot of that is due to either the brutal cold we've been seeing or the lingering effects of the ice storm from over a week ago. As we look ahead to Friday morning, you can see the Arctic air gathering up north. It almost looks like a giant thumb pressing down over the Hudson Bay, with a low-pressure center spinning right at its heart. Late Friday and into early Saturday is when that thumb of Arctic air is going to spill down into the Great Lakes, the Ohio Valley, and the Northeast. Temperatures are going to fall off a cliff in these areas. On the complete flip side, wonderfully mild weather will be developing across the southern plains and even making its way back into Florida. But by late Saturday and early Sunday, that brutal Arctic air will be sitting squarely over New England, sending temperatures as low as 30 degrees below zero. Seriously dangerous cold is on the way for some areas. We could even see some instances of exploding trees, which can happen when the sap inside freezes and rapidly expands. Then, Monday is when we face the possibility of that historic record-breaking cold across the Northeast. This includes upstate New York and even areas near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where the actual air temperature, not the wind chill, could plummet to an incredible 25 degrees below zero. It's a level of cold few have ever experienced. Now let's talk about the snow. Believe it or not, it begins today, but it's not a major threat. A small low-pressure system is developing over the mid-Mississippi Valley. This could even spark a few thunderstorms in the deep south today. We're not expecting severe weather, but don't be shocked to hear some rumbles of thunder or see gusty winds near Mississippi and Louisiana, where many are still recovering from last week's ice storm. To the north of that system, we'll see some light snow showers. On the northern side of that low, snow showers will spread across the Ohio Valley. This isn't going to be a blockbuster storm, but by tonight, some heavier bands of snow could move towards Cincinnati and just south of Columbus, eventually reaching West Virginia and Virginia. We're not expecting huge accumulations here, but a quick 1 to 3 inches is definitely possible in some spots. By Wednesday morning, those snow showers will linger across the Carolinas and Virginia as the system moves very slowly. If you're in North Carolina or Virginia, keep an eye on the sky Wednesday, as you could see some additional light snow on top of the foot or more that many areas received this past weekend. This slow-moving system might drop another inch or two by late tomorrow night. On Thursday, the storm finally moves offshore, though some lingering snow showers will still be possible in New England. Then, we turn our attention to Friday, when the next major storm system comes barreling into the Great Lakes and Northeast. This Friday storm will be a very intense low-pressure system known as an Alberta Clipper. These systems move fast and can pack a real punch, bringing a threat of heavy snowfall. On Friday morning, we're expecting bands of heavy snow to race across Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan. We could even see some dangerous snow squalls, which cause visibility to drop to near zero in a matter of seconds. Get ready for that if you're in Indianapolis, Columbus, or the Cleveland area Friday morning. That snow will spread east. By Friday afternoon, that snow will push as far south as North Carolina and Virginia, though it will be much lighter by then. Late Friday night into early Saturday, the snow will continue across the Northeast, but the bigger story will be the wind. On the backside of that low-pressure system, we will have incredibly intense winds. With over a foot of snow already on the ground in most of the Northeast, this will create the potential for dangerous blizzard conditions. So be ready for that possibility this weekend. That low-pressure system will just be circling offshore, and it's going to be borderline a nor'easter because of how close it will be to New England. However, it doesn't look like the center of the low will be close enough to continue dumping heavy snow on Sunday. As we get into late Sunday and early Monday, we could see yet another snow disturbance pop up over the Ohio Valley and Mid-Atlantic. This one is a lot more questionable since it's still several days away, but we're watching it closely. That potential storm early next week could bring some light to moderate snowfall, possibly reaching as far south as Tennessee, and maybe even into North and South Carolina or perhaps even Georgia. Further out, As we head toward the middle of February, the trends continue to suggest that we will start seeing bigger and more organized storm systems developing. It really looks like the second half of winter could be just as, if not more, active than what we've seen so far. It's time to buckle up. Looking at the total snowfall accumulation, today we're expecting a widespread 1 to 3 inches stretching from Indiana back into West Virginia, with maybe a coating to an inch for Maryland and New Jersey. The bigger story will be the storm this weekend, which will be a more widespread winter weather event. Most areas will only pick up another 1 to 3 inches, but some spots, like upstate New York and northern New England, could easily see closer to a foot of snow from this next system. The biggest story this weekend, however, will be the potential for blizzard conditions, created by the powerful winds whipping around all the snow that's already on the ground. Then, as we head into the beginning of next week, more snowfall is possible, and that may impact areas like Tennessee and North Carolina. But that is still just too uncertain to get into specifics at this point. This is a complex and rapidly changing forecast, so staying informed will be key as these powerful systems develop.